Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. It's another edition of Design Time. We have a QR code for you on your screen that you can scan to get more information on today's topic. And we are out in Auburn at Tri-City Furniture with our great friend Kathy. Kathy, good morning.
Good morning.
So we are talking about one of our favorite topics, which is redoing a room. So
Yes.
a lot of people, when redoing a room, the big question is, where do I start?
Yes.
Is that something that, is a common problem for people?
Absolutely. Probably the most common thing that they will do is decide, well, I could start with paint. And so they tried to figure out of the millions of neutrals, which color. And unfortunately, this is not the thing you start with. This is very, very difficult. Many times I will go up to someone who's just gazing at thousands of neutrals and they don't know what to pick, and I'll ask them, what are you matching? And they're like, matching? I just need a neutral. So you can close your eye and pick one, pick a neutral out and say, well, this is going to work. And they're like, but you didn't even look. And I say, without knowing what I'm matching, you have 1 in 8 million chances, and not very good, to pick the right thing.
Right. So Kathy, you're basically telling us it's a process that needs to be done to get a room done.
Yes, and paint isn't first.
So Kathy, tell us, since paint isn't first, where do we actually start?
So what we want to do is we want to have a roadmap. We want to have a plan. We want to look where we're going and figure out the end. That will include the pieces according to how much space we have. It will include the comfort and how we use the room, if there's a TV. So all of those things, we want to make a roadmap.
So Kathy, that actually sounds a lot more fun than just standing in front of a wall of neutrals trying to pick something out and figure out what's going to work.
Yes.
So starting at the beginning, what do we do first?
Well, we want to make a floor plan. That's going to require us to know the sizes, where doors are, what we're working with for space. So we're actually going to put a plan together, and there may be maybe 1 or 2 options, but we're going to consider the comfort and the fit of how we want to use that space.
So Kathy, how do we look at the end? That doesn't really
That's
seem
looking
easy.
at this map right here. So this gives us our fireplace. It gives us everything in here. And maybe we're going to do something different. This was a bigger project, so we had multiple pieces. But we're going to look at where we're going to go. And then we're going to start doing piece by piece once we've created our map.
And Kathy, what about the doors and windows in a room?
Well, those are very important because we have to consider how big things can be in the room. If we're going to have a TV in there, we know it can't be on the wall with a window. So the walls, if you have a grandfather clock, if you have a piano, those kind of things have to be kind of positioned into the space and then fit in with our furniture, if we want reclining, or what other pieces we need to use that room and be comfortable in it. So we consider all those different things on our floor plan so we know where we're going and what we need to look at.
So Kathy, once we consider the sizes, what do we do next?
After we have the consideration of that, we're actually going to look at a piece of furniture. So maybe something in a small sectional, something in just a regular sofa, reclining chairs. We need to know what fits us and what's comfortable. So we'll actually look. Now notice we've not looked at colors at all. We're looking at the pieces that give our bodies the comfort, because that's how we want to use that room.
So Kathy, tell us, is there just one plan, or do rooms have several options for furniture choices?
Well, there can be a couple, but I usually say there's one good way. And that's because of usually the TV and the vision. Now, if a room doesn't have a television in it, sometimes you have a couple ways, especially if it's larger, that you can rearrange maybe for holidays as compared to every other day. But just depending on the room and how it's used, and then the scale of some of those permanent pieces, fireplaces and televisions, that we need to work in the space. So this can vary from room to room.
All right, Kathy, well, thank you so much for your expertise.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Yes.
Always want a floor plan to make sure we're going the right direction. Mistakes can be costly.
They sure can. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
And you'll want to come back next week because we're going to continue this conversation on learning the steps to redoing a room. We're already learning so much, so you'll want to learn some more next week. All right, so for more information, all you have to do is scan that QR code right there on your screen, or just head over to the hot link section of our website, WNEM.com.